Last year, a study from Harvard Medical School announced that a natural plant extract can reduce cortisol by as much as 27.9% in just 8 weeks and improve sleep quality in adults over 60 by up to 72%. 72%. And this is not a prescription drug, not something you need a doctor's order for, not anything you have to wait in a clinic line to get. But chances are your doctor has never once mentioned it to you. I want to tell you about Gerald, 67 years old, from Dallas, Texas. He was a mechanical engineer, the kind of man who never complained about anything his whole life. But for 3 years straight, he could not get a single good night of sleep. He would wake up at 3 in the morning, heart pounding, drenched in cold sweat. His doctor prescribed sleeping pills. He took them. He slept. But every morning he would wake up feeling like his head was wrapped in cotton and he could not drive a car. Then one day he decided to try just 1 tablespoon of something before bed. And after 3 weeks, Gerald slept straight through from 10 at night to 6 in the morning for the first time in 3 years without waking up once. So what was it? I am going to tell you everything in today's video, along with 4 other things that, when combined, will create a secret weapon for your sleep. Part 1. The real reason you wake up at 3 in the morning. Before we talk about solutions, I want you to understand exactly what the enemy is doing to your body at 3 in the morning. Because if you do not know who the enemy is, no weapon in the world is going to help you use it right. The name of that enemy is cortisol. This is the stress hormone your body produces when it thinks you are in danger. Cortisol is like the alarm system of a building. During the day, that alarm works just fine, keeping you alert and focused. But at night, when the lights are off and you are ready to sleep, that alarm is supposed to go quiet. The problem is that in people over 60, this alarm system has a faulty circuit. It goes off right around 2 to 3 in the morning for no reason at all. On top of that, once you are past 60, your body produces significantly less melatonin than it did when you were 30. Melatonin is the hormone that keeps you in deep sleep. Low melatonin combined with high cortisol is the perfect recipe for sleepless nights. And the vicious cycle starts right here. Because when you do not get enough sleep, your cortisol the next day is even higher, and the following night becomes even harder to get through. But the good news is, this cycle can be broken, and the 5 things I am about to share with you are exactly the key to doing that. Part 2. This 1 tablespoon stopped my 3 a.m. wake-ups. Alright, this is the part you have been waiting for, and I want to be upfront with you right away. I am not selling anything in this video. Everything I am about to mention can be picked up at Walmart, Whole Foods, or Amazon at a very reasonable price. I will go from number 5 down to number 1 based on the level of effectiveness I have seen in my patients over 30 years. Number 5, raw honey. Sounds simple, right? But do not underestimate this one. Raw honey is not the regular honey you stir into your tea. This is honey that has never been heat processed, so it still holds all of its natural enzymes, minerals, and glycogen. Why does that matter for sleep? Remember when I talked about blood sugar dropping at 3 in the morning? Raw honey gives your liver a small but steady source of glycogen throughout the night. All you need is exactly 1 tablespoon of raw honey before bed. That is it. Nothing more. Number 4, chamomile tea concentrate. You have probably heard of chamomile tea before, but most people are drinking it completely wrong. 1 standard chamomile tea bag steeped for 5 minutes in warm water does almost nothing for someone over 60. The reason is apigenin, the main active compound in chamomile that binds directly to receptors in the brain to create a feeling of calm and drowsiness, needs to reach a high enough concentration to actually work. To get there, you need to steep 3 to 4 tea bags at once in 8 ounces of boiling water. Let it sit for at least 10 minutes and keep a lid on it while it steeps so the active compounds do not evaporate. Then you only drink about 2 ounces, which is about 4 tablespoons. You do not need the whole cup. Number 3, magnesium water. This is the one I really want you to pay attention to. According to a study published by researchers at Northwestern University Feinberg School of Medicine, people over 55 with low magnesium levels in their blood are 59% more likely to develop chronic insomnia compared to those with adequate magnesium. Magnesium works like an off switch for your nervous system. More specifically, it suppresses the NMDA receptors in the brain, the receptors responsible for keeping your nervous system in an excited state. When magnesium is sufficient, those receptors are quieted and your brain gradually shifts into a calm, restful state. When magnesium is low, those receptors stay lit up, and that is exactly why your mind keeps racing when you lie down. Number 2, tart cherry juice concentrate. A study conducted by scientists at Louisiana State University Agricultural Center found that older adults who drank 1 ounce of tart cherry juice concentrate each evening for 2 weeks were able to sleep an average of 84 additional minutes per night compared to a placebo group. 84 minutes. That is almost a full nap added onto your sleep without doing anything extra. Why does tart cherry work so well? Because tart cherries are one of the very few natural foods that contain melatonin at a concentration high enough to have a real physiological effect. On top of that, the anthocyanin compounds in tart cherries also suppress the enzyme that breaks down tryptophan, helping your body produce more serotonin and melatonin naturally from the inside out. Number 1, ashwagandha root extract. And this is exactly what changed Gerald's life. The story I told you at the beginning of this video. Ashwagandha root extract. This is number 1 on my list for a very clear reason. Ashwagandha contains compounds called withanolides, unique plant compounds that act directly on the HPA axis, which stands for hypothalamic pituitary adrenal, the system that controls cortisol in your body. The important thing is that you buy the right form, specifically ashwagandha root extract standardized as KSM-66 or Sensoril. These are the 2 most researched forms with the strongest scientific backing. The effective dose is between 300 and 600 milligrams each evening. This is not a drug. This is a plant-based supplement with over 3,000 years of use in Ayurvedic medicine before modern science began studying and confirming it. Part 3. How to mix it and when to take it. Now you have all 5 things, but how and when you use them is what actually determines the results. I do not want you to overcomplicate this because you really do not need to. Here is the simplest formula I can give you. The ideal time is about 45 to 60 minutes before you go to sleep, not right before you climb into bed. 45 to 60 minutes, that is the window your body needs to absorb these compounds and let them start working at exactly the right moment. For how to take them, you can go step by step or combine everything. The simplest approach is to start with 1 tablespoon of raw honey and 1 ounce of tart cherry concentrate. Mix them into 2 ounces of warm chamomile tea concentrate. Then take your 300 milligram KSM-66 ashwagandha capsule alongside 6 ounces of magnesium glycinate water. The whole preparation takes about 10 minutes. This is not a cocktail bar. It does not have to be perfect down to the last milligram. What matters most is consistency, meaning you do this every single night, not just on the nights when you feel like you cannot sleep. If you are just starting out and want to test things one at a time, I recommend beginning with ashwagandha and tart cherry first because those 2 have the strongest scientific evidence and the most noticeable effects in people over 60. Part 4. Important warnings, so this does not backfire. I cannot end this video without sharing a few important things with you because I am a doctor and that is my responsibility. First, if you are currently taking any medications, especially immunosuppressants, thyroid medications, or sedatives, please talk to your doctor before adding ashwagandha to your routine. Ashwagandha can interact with certain medications, and in those cases, you need medical supervision. Second, if you have diabetes or are closely monitoring your blood sugar, pay careful attention to how your body responds to raw honey. Even though 1 tablespoon of raw honey has a relatively moderate glycemic index, every person responds differently. I want to be straight with you before we wrap up. A good night of sleep is not just about feeling well in the morning. It is the foundation for your memory, your heart health, your immune system, and even your mood throughout the entire day. When you sleep well, you think more clearly, you feel happier, you experience less pain, and you live with a higher quality of life. That is something you deserve to have. If this video was helpful to you, please share it with a family member or a friend, especially anyone who is struggling with sleepless nights and those 3 in the morning wake-ups. If you found it useful, hit the like button so YouTube can recommend it to more people, and subscribe so we can meet again at the next piece of health advice. I am Dr. Saul Whitman. I will see you in the next video, and remember, age is just a number, but health is a choice. Sleep well tonight.